I think it's safe to rest here now. I think Hoodle senses something.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Out of our way!
Resonate with the air! One more! Demon Fang!
This one's mine!
Can you take it?
They rush you! You gotta jump for cover, okay?
You're finished!
Do it!
Dragon Swarm!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
I'm ready!
Wow, look what I just found.
Out of our way!
Double Demon Fang!
Take it!
Resonate with the air!
On guard! On guard! I'll take out the legs with my shield.
We turn the tables on him!
There are still more left.
Right! No time to hold back! Sonic Thrust! Swallow Blade!
Going in!
I'm ready! Blow them away!
Take it! And
Here I come!
Elusive deity!
Come on! Double Demon
Do it!
Fang! One more! Light Burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Only the best materials in your garments.
You really do have quite the discerning eye, Dohalim.
Yeah, they all kind of look the same to me.
Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo. Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo. Maybe something's going on in the forest.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Elusive Deity! Tornado Drop! You're mine! Can you take it? Pierce through!
Searing Flame! Reload! Annihilation!
We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
I'm ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
We work well together, like a finely timed waltz.
Sword Lane Alpha! Blew away!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! We're a pretty lethal combination, aren't we?
What can I say? I had a good partner.
A fish! You saw it!
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renan eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them?
With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. Hup. Not my lucky day, I guess. Hup. All right. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Nice! You caught it!
Oh, we've got a lively one. I did it! But I'm not gonna quit now.
You tamed a real beast.
Yeah! There we go. Well, it's not bad, per se.
You take your fishing pretty seriously.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow.
It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Judging by the step. Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menensian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
This shall suffice. Please, everyone, have as much as you like.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Dahnans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Dahnan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Dahnan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Dahnans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Dahnans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Don't get careless.
Resonate with
Don't
the
tell
earth.
me!
Rising Wyvern! Hurricane Thrust! Rising Phoenix!
Where are you going? Airborne beat. Going my spec.
Take this!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for you truly. Going in. Glacier
Ancient
Here,
Being!
Turbo.
Resonate with the earth! Sword Rain Alpha! Flew away!
Glacial Spear.
Come
Do it.
Follow me! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed
Be
walk.
still! Rising Falcon! I'm ready! Rising Wyvern!
No further!
Dragon!
We can really make weapons with this?
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart. When he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
No further.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and the tunneling to me.
Rising falcon! Pierce through!
Elusive deity! Tiger blade!
Not so fast! Rising water!
Elusive
Rising
deity!
phoenix!
Hear me! Flame of death! Glacial barrier! Pierce evil!
Pierce through!
Freeze lander!
Sonic thrust!
Their arcs were interrupted.
No further!
Crescent moon!
Take this!
Hear me!
You're
Flame
mine!
of fury!
Elusive deity!
You're mine!
Take
Pierce
this!
evil!
Destruction!
Take this!
Freeze lander!
Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Look sharp!
Annihilation!
Double Demon Fang!
On guard! Look sharp! Going in!
Be
One
still!
more! On guard!
Rising water!
So you clamor for my true power?
Blade!
Stardust!
Do it!
Follow me! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Finely timed waltz.
Take this!
Time to shine!
You're mine! You're
Can you
on!
take it?
I'm only
Take
getting
this! Sonic
Look
thrust!
sharp!
Pierce through!
Have this!
On guard!
Sword ready!
Take this! Make it rain!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Dahnan relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dahnan history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
I sense a strange power from this.
I can feel my precision improving.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Get lost!
Hard expert coming through!
Going in!
Not in your dreams! It's a duel of the arts!
You wanna play? Come at me!
Flying freak! Get me to sit still!
You make me angry.
Can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malika!
Double Even Fang! Demon Fang!
That's it!
Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back.
I'll bring it up.
Take this!
Megasonic Thrust! Pierce through!
I think the enemy's getting desperate.
Got them where we want them.
Don't take your hand, though.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart for your heart's content.
Make it rain!
All yours, Kisara.
We did it!
Magnificently done.
It's better you don't mind if I do!
Through escape!
Tiger Blade! Make it rain!
Double me! In an instant! Impact block!
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
Don't get careless.
Don't tell me!
Rising Wyvern! Resonate with Rising Phoenix! You're mine!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
This one's mine!
Elusive being! You got fire!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Hunger!
Dazzle! Rising
Tiger Blade! Glacier
I'm ready!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart for your heart's content.
Sonic Thrust!
Look sharp!
Can you take it? Here I come!
Glacial Spear!
Be still! Rising Falcon! Sonic Thrust!
Make it rain!
All yours, Kisara.
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Going in! Make it rain!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around.
I'll do my best! Magna Ray!
Confiscate!
Going in!
Can you take it?
Tiger Blade!
Elusive deity. Rotating pile driver.
Take this!
I'm ready.
Lava Blade!
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis!
Rising Water!
Take this! Tiger
Elusive
Blade!
deity. Rotating pile driver.
Leave the enemy's arts to me!
Pile driver.
No complaints here!
Raining Flash!
On guard!
Get alive!
Here!
Lunar Rondo!
To the fray!
Rising Phoenix!
Make it rain! One more! Dueling!
All yours, Kisara.
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Rotating pile driver.
Destruction!
Resonate with the earth.
Going in! That's it! I'm do it! Dahnan!
All yours, Kisara.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
It'll take more than that to break my shield.
Dependable to the last.
Denied!
You're mine! Tempest! You're mine! Elusive deity! Rising water! Tear! Resonate with the earth!
Tiger blade! Glacial spear! You want
That's my cue!
Shut him down! I owe you one.
Beckon into everlasting joy!
Negative light!
Resonate with the earth!
Where are you going?
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
Rising water!
Healing Star Tiger Blade! And just like that, I'm back in it! Start by... This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Opted for an intricately crafted weapon as usual.
It is beautiful in both function and form.
You're gonna hate when it gets scratched. Seriously? Is this a joke?
Resonate with the earth!
Going in! One more! Tiger Blade!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance. Leave the agile ones to me.
Resonate with the earth!
This one is mine!
You're mine!
Make it
Totally! In an instant!
Impact block!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Radiant here!
Can you take it?
Blade!
Devastation! Demon Fang! Time to let it rip! Did you just heal me?
Yes, I need you, remember?
Right.
Go make it ready!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Searing
Take me out, thank you!
Look sharp!
Here I come!
Glacial spear! Here's do it!
Dragon form! Blow them away! Inferno turret!
Here's evil!
Rising Wyvern!
Take this! Touch! Make it ready!
Totally! In an instant!
Impact block!
Together, there is nothing that can stop us.
Indeed. As one, we are unrivaled.
And that is our greatest strength.
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
More Dahnan ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Bad feeling about this.
Resonate with the
This
earth!
one's mine! Going in!
Rising Wyvern!
Glacial spear! Here's evil!
Swallow Blade!
Free blade!
Here's
Here's
Rain! Sword Rain Alpha!
There! Got it! Magna Ray! Look sharp! Annihilation! Magna Ray!
Elusive deity!
Rising Falcon!
Pile driver!
There! And you're mine! Lightning! Do it!
Swing well! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Take it! Go! Magna Ray! I'm on
Spear! Pierce evil!
Murderondo! Rising Phoenix!
Resonate with the earth!
Rising Viper!
Next shot! Do it!
Wow! Look what I just found.
What's this thing? I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about...
Get lost! One more! Don't mind if I do!
Take it! Raining Slash!
Tiger Blade! Make your break!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
You're mine!
Tiger Blade!
Rising
Make your break!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Going in!
Take it!
Tiger Blade!
Blow away!
I'm ready! Ringwell!
Frozen?
Hammer!
I need to be stronger.
A new melody! Sword Lane Alpha! You can't! You're mine!
Arch Shield!
The everlasting sword!
Negative gate! I'm ready! Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Resonate with the earth!
Rising
Not
Falcon!
on my watch! Tiger Blade!
Dragon Swarm!
Going in!
Eternal
Make it rain!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! A merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
Take this!
Negative Tiger Blade!
Resonate with the earth!
Rising Tiger! Stardust!
Hear me! Flame of
Time to
Fury!
shine.
Burning Strike!
Glacial Spear!
Piercing Onyx! You're coming through! Freeze Lancer!
Begin!
I shall ensure you survive this.
Begin!
Tiger Blade!
I'm ready!
Rinwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Look sharp! One more!
This one's mine!
I'm ready! Yohelim!
All yours, Kisara! This calls for a celebratory drink.
Right, here goes!
Did you see this coming?
You're mine!
Benediction.
You made me angry!
Here's evil.
That was a bad idea!
Demon Fang!
Take this!
Rising Wiper!
Tiger Blade!
Elusive deity!
You're mine! Wind! Devastation! Rising Phoenix!
Piercing Roar!
Resonate with the earth!
Rising Wiper!
Take this!
Take this!
Tiger Blade!
Rising Falcon!
Negative gate!
Tiger
Resonate
Blade!
with the earth! Resonate with the earth!
Rising
I'm
Falcon!
unstopped up! Tiger Blade!
Take this! We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Let's talk in more pummel.
Cut them apart to your heart's
Tiger
content.
Blade!
Take this! You're finished!
Tiger Blade!
I'm ready!
All yours, Kisara!
I've still got a ways to go.
Let's see what you've got.
Like moth to the flame.
Laser spear.
Catapult. Tiger blade.
Art expert coming through.
Pierce through!
Laser spear.
Sovereign Alpha!
That's it.
One more than I'll burn out.
Down.
Here, let me help.
Rain
with the
slap!
earth.
Demon time!
This one is mine.
No escape! Blazing Phoenix!
Negative gate.
The tide of battle has turned in our favor.
Then let's keep pressing the attack.
Indeed. Remain ever vigilant.
Here, let me
Demon
attack.
Fang!
This one's mine. Tiger blade. Make it break. Laser spear.
In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Finding time to walk.
Tiger blade. I got it.
Got what?
I can chop up vegetable scraps and use them in the seasonings.
Shoulda known that's what it was gonna be about. Hey, new equipment!
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
This realm doesn't seem like such a bad place to camp in.
Yeah, there's lots of plants and wildlife here.
I know, and it all looks friggin' delicious too!
Who said anything about eating them? All done. Come and eat.
You okay, Shion? You're not eating very much.
What's wrong? Do you not like the cheese fondue that you made?
Yeah, I'm used to seeing you more excited about food.
You're not feeling sick, are you?
No, I'm fine. It's nothing like that. It's just...
What?
I guess I just don't understand what the appeal is. We could just as easily put everything on a plate and pour the cheese on top of it instead.
I suppose it lies in being able to decide exactly how much cheese you want. There's also something to be said for enjoying how it all turns out. It's fun.
That's fine and all, but I wish the plate-to-mouth time was shorter.
I think I understand. You don't like having to put in so much effort into eating something, do you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Actually, now that I think about it, you're a way less fussy eater than you look, Shion.
In my book, there's no one right way to eat a meal. Tuck in, take your time, be dainty or devouring. As long as you enjoy the food, that's what counts.
There's no need to stand on ceremony while we're out camping in the wilderness.
Yeah, you're right. In that case, don't mind if I do.
I've never seen someone dump that much cheese on a meal before. Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?